Hey guys, it's Alpha, and in today's video we're going to be learning how to create tools in MCreator. So to get started, we're going to open up MCreator and open up our mod workspace. And we're just going to hit that into full screen. And to start off with creating items, we're going to go to the new item or new mod element tab, and then go to tool. And in here we can name our first tool, which will be a tin pickaxe, like so. Create a new tool, and the tool texture I've already created, so I'll just import that. Here we are, so we've got our tin tools that we're going to be using today. So we're doing tin pickaxe first, so I'll choose that texture. There we go. And if you do want these textures that I've created and all the other assets that are used in this series, you can join the channel as a File Access Club member, which will give you full access to all the files and assets that are used in this series. Alternatively, you can join the channel as an exclusive Access Club member, where you will get the full file access. You'll also get early access to all the videos, exclusive access to certain videos which aren't available to the public, priority reply to your comments and questions, and you'll also get shoutouts in the videos. Anyway, moving back on, with the tool 3D model, you can change the item model if you've specified a new one, but normally it will just be normal. And alternative item texture, so basically if you drop the item, will it have a different texture? Or if you put it in an item frame or in GUIs and stuff, will it have an alternative texture, which you can specify just there, but we don't need to do that. The pickaxe will always have the same texture. Does the item have a glowing effect? We do not, but if you do want to do that, you can check that and it will give a glowing effect to your pickaxe or tool. And special information as well, you can add in there, but there's nothing really particularly special about the tin pickaxe. So if we go to properties, we've got the in-game name, which will be tin pickaxe, and then you've got type of tool. So in here, we're just going to use pickaxe. If you are making something that's like a multi-tool, you can select multi-tool at the bottom, or if it's something completely unique, you can press special. But we're doing a pickaxe, so we're going to select pickaxe. Creative inventory tab, of course, is going to be tools and utilities. And the block dropped here is wood, stone, iron, diamond, gold, and netherite. So with the tin pickaxe, I think it should be stone tier. It's not as good as iron, so it shouldn't be the iron tier, but it is better than stone. So we'll put it at the stone tier of block drops, which means it can mine things that stone pickaxes can and still get the drops, but it can't mine things like diamond, which iron pickaxes can mine and get the drops. Next, we have the efficiency. So if we press this question mark here, we can see the vanilla values for, stone, iron, wood, diamond, all that. So we want it to be in between stone and iron. So stone is 4, iron is 6. So we'll set our efficiency to 5. Enchantability, we've got the default values here. Stone is 5, iron is 14. I want this one probably to be quite high, maybe around 16, just because it's not a great tier of tools, so there's no point in not having it enchantable. As you can see here, wooden tools and gold tools are the highest by default, and obviously they're like terrible. So having a high one for terrible tools is the trend, so we'll just continue that trend. Attack damage is currently 4, we'll just leave it at that. And attack speed is 1, we'll leave it at that as well. Then you've got the durability, which we can press on this question mark and see the default values. So stone is usually 131 and iron is 250. So we'll go somewhere in the middle and say about 190 for the stone one. For the tin one, sorry. The repair items. So if we want to repair this pickaxe, it's going to be using tin ingots. So we'll put that as the repair item. We don't need to turn on blocking because we don't use this to block. Is the tool immune to fire? It's not, but things like netherite tools are immune to fire, so if you wanted to enable that, you can. And does item stay in crafting mode when crafted? We don't need to enable that either because we're not using this to craft anything. Next, we've got triggers, but we're not actually doing any triggers with this tool, so we can just press save mod element and move on to the next tool. So what I'm actually going to be doing is just duplicating this mod element just so we don't have to put all the custom values for this tier of tool in. So we're going to duplicate this and change it to tin axe for the next one, like so. And we're going to change the texture to the axe. And then on properties, we're going to change all the values that we need to change. So tin axe, and the type of tool is axe. All the other stuff like the durability, efficiency, enchantability, we're going to change as well. We're going to make sure it's the same as the pickaxe, and obviously the repair item is the same as well. And we can save that mod element. And then we can go ahead and duplicate again to make the next tool, which will be the shovel. So we can change the texture to the tin shovel. And then we'll change the name and tool type. There we go. And all the values are once again the same. And we can save the mod element and move on to the next tool, which will be the hoe. Lovely. So we'll change that texture, tin hoe. There we go. And we'll change the name and tool type once again. And last but not least, the tin sword. There we go. So now we've created all of our tin tools, and we can boot up the modded client and try them out in game. There you go. So if we load into a world and we go into the tools and utilities section, we've got our tin tools at the bottom. I have incorrectly put the tin sword in the tools and utilities rather than the combat section, but you can always change that yourself. Lovely. So now I'll just change into survival mode and we can try out these tools. As you can see here, the pickaxe mines stone and ores that any stone tool can mine, but it mines them slightly quicker than stone tools. And if we press F3 and H, we'll get advanced tooltips, and we can go into the inventory and see the durability of these items, which is 190, which is higher than stone tools. If we wanted to mine something that a stone pickaxe normally can't mine, such as diamond ore or obsidian, we wouldn't actually get anything. Then we've got things that shovels work on, like gravel and dirt, and that works perfectly fine as well. Faster than a stone shovel, but slower than an iron shovel. And then the same deal with the axe for wood. And it works to strip the logs as well, if we want to do so. The hoe works as a hoe to till the ground. And the sword, of course, will be good at killing things, although we can actually check that. The sword has 4 attack damage, whereas a stone sword might have more or less, so we can check that in a moment. We can just try it on the cow. There you go. So if we compare the tin sword to a stone sword, this one has 4 attack damage, a stone sword has 5, and iron has 6. So we're going to want to change that from 4 to 5.5, I'd say is the good midpoint between stone and iron. So we'll change that now, and we'll also put it into the combat section as well. And also we'll change the attack speed to 1.6. So if we go into tin sword, we can change the attack speed to 1.6 and the attack damage to 5.5, like so. And then you've also got the attack speed of all the other tools. So for pickaxes, it's actually supposed to be 1.2. For the axe, the attack damage is supposed to be 0.85, which is the midpoint between stone and iron, and the attack damage should be 9. And for the hoe, the attack speed should be 2, and the attack damage to 1. And for the shovel, the attack speed is 1, and the attack damage is 4. And we'll just go back to the pickaxe because one more thing needs to be changed, which is the attack damage, which should be 3.5 to be the midpoint between stone and iron. So now all of our tools have the right stats, and we can just also change the creative inventory tab of the sword to the combat section. There we go. So now all of our tin tools and weapons have the correct stats and inventory tabs as well. So if I restart the modded client, we can check that these changes have applied. So if we load into the world, we can now check the stats. There we go. So these are now the correct stats for the tin tools, and they also have the correct durability, and also the tin sword should be in the combat section rather than the tools and utilities section. So that is everything for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed and learned something new. And also, if you want to create your own Minecraft server that you can have custom mods or your own mod that you're creating from this series in, you can click this video in the top right on the info card here. In the next episode, we're going to be learning about creating custom armor. So until then, I'll see you next time.